If it's Ortiz, it'll be, it could be a phone booth fight. Two good body punches. Two confident guys, two guys with great heart.
Everybody knows that like Boots said, it's time for him. Everybody wants to see Boots against a real opponent. Vergil, you're peaked right now. You're the best option to make us, to let us figure out.
We have not seen Boots in game growing. We have for Vergil.
Yeah.
We've seen Vergil become a better version of himself.
Yeah.
We've seen Boots be an amazing version of himself over and over and over and over and over. You know? And I think that there comes a time where amazing becomes magnificent. And I think he has the ability to become
with the potential Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. showdown rapidly becoming one of the most anticipated fights at 154 pounds. Teddy Atlas believes the matchup could turn into an all-out war. Atlas points to Ortiz's ability to move, box, and use his legs as evidence that there's much more to his game than simply knockout power.
Told me a few fights ago that he had a dimension I didn't know he had. When he was just, going through guys, knocking them out with body shots, sinking and destroying. I don't think I knew or anyone knew that he had the ability to use his legs and box and do some boxing. He showed me that dimension. He showed me that dimension in that fight that some people thought he lost. First fight that he got tested. We didn't get a knockout with
Sergey Bohachuk.
There it is. I wanted you to say his name. I just want to hear you say. And he showed me that he could box. He could use his legs, and match.
Roy Jones Jr. believes the answer for Boots Ennis is obvious. In his view, Vergil Ortiz Jr. is the fight that needs to happen next. With both men undefeated and entering their prime years, Jones sees this as exactly the kind of high-level collision boxing fans have been waiting to witness.
I want to know about Boots Ennis. And you're going to go say about Earl Spence and somebody else? We don't want to hear that. I definitely don't want to hear that. You told us on national TV after the fight that you wanted to do exactly what that man said. That man told you, well, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see you do nothing else right now. You can come back and go to Earl later. You can come back and go to Crawford later if Crawford chooses to do that. But what I want to see right now is the two best dream middleweights on the horizon fight. It's two undefeated guys who are equal. Don't run from that smoke, bruh. Don't run from that smoke. Let's make that happen.
Sean Porter also sees plenty of intrigue in a Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. matchup. While Boots brings tremendous athleticism, speed, and power, Porter believes Ortiz's discipline and technically sound fundamentals could become major advantages. Those qualities could ultimately determine who controls the fight once the two finally share the ring.
Discipline. And I think that that's something that Boots lacks. My dad was drilling so much into me. One of the things that always resonated, or that I remember him always saying, that to me resonates with me as I comment on Boots. My dad would tell me, it can't always be just athleticism. You're not going to always be able to win on athleticism. You're not going to always be able to win with just speed. You're not going to always be able to win with just power. We have to be able to mix it all up so that you have whatever you need at any point in time. And I think that we're looking at a Vergil who's very disciplined. And while he, compared to Boots, looks basic, his basic style, his basic package is very sharp.
As for Vergil Ortiz Jr., Boots Ennis understands that this is one of the fights the boxing world desperately wants to see. Ennis believes the demand is obvious, but he's focused on handling each opponent in front of him as he continues his pursuit of becoming undisputed at 154 pounds.
See you fight Ortiz.
We're gonna get them all. One by one. Whatever is next. Like I said, we're gonna talk to my team and figure out what's best and what's next. And like I said, I'm here to go this division though. This is my division. This boxing game mine, and I will be undisputed at this weight division. Everybody gonna want to go see that. Like they want to see how I match up against that. To be honest, everybody knew how me and Ortiz gonna go for sure. Like It's like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? We don't really gotta see too much. Like we know what you're getting out of it.
With the major championship opportunities at 154 pounds beginning to take shape, Robert Garcia believes the time has come for Boots Ennis and Vergil Ortiz Jr. to turn their attention toward each other. He argues that the matchup should already be happening, especially with Ortiz chasing full world championship status and many of the other major options already tied up.
Would you like that next in the hearts of Vergil Ortiz for him to fight Boots Ennis?
Look, I think it's a fight that needs to happen. I think it's the fight that needs to happen already. You know, there is other big fights. You know, Vergil is definitely pushing and wants to be world champion. You know, it sucks to say it, but he's the best 154 pounder, and he's not a world champion, a full world champion yet. That would be the best if we were to get a world title opportunity like a Fundora, but Fundora's already locked in with Thurman or Sandra Sayas, who is already locked in. You know, I believe the IBF is also locked in with
Murtazaev against Josh Kelly.
Kelly. So I think what else is out there? You know, yeah, there is talk about.
Tim Bradley isn't convinced Vergil Ortiz Jr. has enough to overcome Boots Ennis. Bradley respects Ortiz's accuracy and ability, but believes Boots brings an entirely different level of danger with his combination of speed, power, counter-punching, and switch-hitting ability. In Bradley's eyes, Ennis possesses too many weapons for Ortiz to handle comfortably.
To beat Ortiz, and he's going to beat him. It's gonna be bad. I'm just letting y'all know. Some of y'all see that victory he put on, and you know, Ortiz, and he looked spectacular, and he did it against a quality opponent. However, Boots is a different type of animal, man. You know, this guy can be on his front foot, he can be on his back foot. This guy got punching power, hand speed. He got a ton of skill, counter punching ability. I mean, Boots, all the tools in the world to give a guy like Ortiz, who is talented. Don't get me wrong. Ortiz is talented, man. He goes about his way inside that ring. You can see how calculated and precise he is when he's inside that ring.
Greg Hackett believes the biggest question surrounding a Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. fight is which version of Boots would actually show up. He wonders how Ortiz would react if he managed to put Ennis under serious pressure and force him into adversity. But Hackett's advice to Boots is simple. Remain patient, keep the hands high, and create distance whenever the situation demands it.
How would that fight go?
That's the thing. I don't know, because I feel like you get different versions of Boots depending on who he's fighting. Right. But I'm not gonna lie. If Vergil might have been able to do a little more if he got Boots buzz like that. You know what I mean? Because he throw a tighter shot. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, because we gotta wait and see. That's some we gotta see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what adjustments can Boots make for his next fight? Given the fact that this is the first time we see Boots really face adversity in such a way.
I mean, take your time and keep them hands up. Take your time, keep them hands up, and also take a step back.
Kenny Ellis doesn't believe Vergil Ortiz Jr. will be able to knock Boots Ennis out. He expects Ortiz to come forward aggressively from the opening bell and possibly apply even more pressure than Xander Zayas did. But that forward momentum could also create openings. Since Ortiz naturally moves toward his opponents, Ellis believes Boots won't need to chase him and should have plenty of opportunities to land fight-changing punches.
He said that he would sleep Boots, and he felt like Xander Zayas was a quitter.
He got a right to his opinion, but I don't think he'll sleep Boots. I don't think he'll sleep Boots. Good fight, though.
Do you think he puts a better fight than Zayas?
I think he'll start faster, but get caught earlier. He got more. He bring.
You think he can start faster?
He bring more pressure than Xander. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if he's gonna get stopped faster, but I think he'll get stopped. Boots don't have to look for him. He's gonna be right there for Boots. He don't know no other way but forward. You know what I'm saying? Boots are boxing.
Paulie Malignaggi believes Boots Ennis still has another level to reach, yet he's already accomplished enough to establish himself among boxing's elite. Malignaggi views Vergil Ortiz Jr. as one of the biggest challenges remaining for Boots. If Ortiz returns from his current absence while Ennis continues holding his championships, Paulie sees the ingredients for a massive world title showdown.
Ennis, but we've seen enough to know that, at least in my opinion, he's on the pound for pound list, and there's going to be a lot more fun possible fights for him. Hopefully now he can get all the big fights and he can get all the big names. You know, I know Vergil Ortiz is being mentioned, but right now Vergil Ortiz is on the bench in a contract dispute with Golden Boy that may or may not last a while, but hopefully there can come a point where Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz can't fight each other, because that would be a blockbuster fight. And guess what? Now that could be for a world title. That was one of my gripes about that fight when they were going to make it before, that it wouldn't have been for a world title. If Vergil Ortiz comes back and if Jaron Ennis holds on to these belts, that fight becomes a world championship fight, which I think gives it even more meritocracy, and it gives it the meritocracy that it...
Chris Algieri would rather see Boots Ennis face Vergil Ortiz Jr., even while acknowledging his personal connection with Ortiz. He admits Sebastian Fundora could present a more complicated stylistic puzzle, but Algieri believes Boots has the talent necessary to defeat anyone in the division. The major concern is whether Ortiz's time away from competition will leave him properly prepared for someone as dangerous as Ennis.
Transparent, Vergil's my guy. Okay. Vergil's my guy. I've known Robert Garcia a long time. He's been telling me about him for a long time. I know Vergil. I like Vergil. So it'd be hard to be unbiased. But Fundora is such a difficult puzzle. He's so long, and he's getting better. He's improving. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Vergil, the inactivity really worries me, because you got sharks circling. And Jaron, with the level of talent he has, he can beat anybody on any given night. So, yeah, it's a...
When discussing the most difficult stylistic matchups for Boots Ennis, Bredman Edwards puts Vergil Ortiz Jr. near the top of the list. He believes Boots could have problems when his longer punches encounter Ortiz's compact combinations, particularly during exchanges at mid-range. Ortiz's ability to stay tight and fire quickly from position means any defensive mistakes from Boots could come with a heavy price.
Stylistically, to me, the hardest fight for Boots is Vergil Ortiz. That's my honest opinion. Vergil Ortiz, Boots got them long, kind of like gangly arms, right? And sometimes he load up a little bit, and Vergil Ortiz punch short and compact, right in the mid-range on the inside, right where Boots like it. And in exchanges, Vergil Ortiz, I don't think he's as fast as Boots for like combinations of punches, but I do think that if Boots is throwing single shots, that Vergil's short, compact punches can get there. Because one thing Vergil don't play like Boots play. Boots sometimes put his hands down, he lean back, he do all kinds of stuff.
Roll the shots.
Yeah, Boots does a lot of stuff where Vergil kind of just stays in one place and just fires right from...
Mikey Garcia believes Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s punching power could be the defining factor in this potential showdown. He gives Boots full credit for his technical ability, but warns that Ortiz has recently shown just how devastating his power can be. According to Garcia, if Ennis absorbs 1 or 2 clean shots from Ortiz, he'll immediately understand why this fight could become extremely competitive.
Boots, how does the fight go? I think Vergil's power will be the difference. Boots has really good skills. Can't deny that. Very, very talented fighter. But the power is very, very different. Once you're in the ring, he's strong, bro. You've seen him in his last 6 fights. And the power is just impressive. Boots gets caught with 1 or 2 of those shots, and it's gonna hurt him. I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight, though. I think Boots he's got the skills to be, very, very good and competitive, and have some really good rounds. But I think Vergil's power will be the difference.
Lonnie B gives Vergil Ortiz Jr. the advantage because he understands what makes Ortiz such a difficult opponent to break down. He highlights Ortiz's compact defense, high guard, and disciplined pressure. Unlike many aggressive fighters, Ortiz doesn't simply rush forward looking for mistakes. He continues making adjustments as the rounds progress, and Lonnie believes that could make him increasingly difficult to deal with.
So I know what gives boxers trouble. And that style Vergil Ortiz got is going to give any boxer trouble because he's hard to hit. His hands, the one thing about boxers, we go off instinct and reflexes most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we bank off you doing stuff wrong, like walking me down with your feet too close to each other. You know, using feint, your hands down, you not moving your head enough. That's the stuff that we bank on. Vergil Ortiz does everything perfect that gives a boxer hell. Like the way he walk you down, the way he keep his hands up, the way how he gets stronger as the rounds go on. How he's not just a come for a fighter. He makes adjustments.
Coach Reg isn't impressed with how often the Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. matchup continues to get pushed aside. He argues that if critics believe Boots needs a legitimate elite name on his resume, then Ortiz is exactly the opponent who should be standing across from him right now. Reg also warns that delaying the fight could create even more questions if Ortiz eventually suffers a defeat against someone else.
Let Boots fight Charlo and then he fights Spence. No, why not let that happen? All of y'all keep saying Boots got no elite fighters on his resume, so then make the fight happen. Stop trying to reroute and go different places so you can fight this person and fight that person. Because at the end of the day, let's just hypothetically say Errol Spence beat Ortiz. Is Boots gonna fight Ortiz? And then what they gonna say? Oh, he should have fought him before he fought Spence. Come on. Everybody that Boots fight, he gets no credit for.
Sean Zittel believes Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. has every ingredient needed for an explosive battle, particularly because of Boots' dangerous body punching. Ortiz brings fast hands and a compact, technically disciplined style that should allow him to compete during the exchanges. However, Zittel believes Boots' superior athleticism could eventually take control if he establishes his jab, finds his rhythm, and maintains his discipline.
Interests me in this fight would be his body punching. I think Boots is a nasty body puncher, and he'll hit you from different angles with both hands and both stances. Vergil is the come forward Mexican-American fighter with the high guard. Maybe it's here when he's up here. Boots is a nasty body puncher. I'll tell you what, man, that's going to be a very exciting fight, a very explosive fight. Vergil has the hand speed to compete with Boots in the exchanges the way other fighters he's fought haven't. He's keeps everything tight and come back and it's technically sound. But Boots, if he could take the power well and get into a rhythm in that fight, he starts hitting from both sides of the plate everywhere. That athleticism is a problem.
Yeah.
The jab is going to be key for him in that fight out of both stances. He's going to have to fight behind his jab and not just get to the bag of tricks early.
As the possibility of a major Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. showdown continues to gain momentum, Eric Gomez sees one important advantage for Boots outside the ropes. He believes Ortiz cannot build his case simply by talking about what he would have done against Ennis. Until he actually steps into the ring with Boots, those claims remain impossible to prove.
Him before he was a champion. But now that he had the performance he had, even though Vergil Ortiz came out and said, oh, if that had been me that hurt him, then I would have stopped him. It don't work like that. You don't get credit off of another man's work. You didn't do that, you're on the sideline. So yeah, for my take, Boots has leverage here now, being the champion.
Bernie the Boxer views Vergil Ortiz Jr. as an even more dangerous version of Xander Zayas because of his compact style and sharper punch selection. He points to the moments when Boots Ennis was hurt as evidence that Ortiz could make the fight extremely competitive. Still, Bernie believes the experience Boots gained from those difficult moments will help him prepare for the kind of pressure Ortiz is capable of bringing.
I will sleep Jaron.
That's what Vergil said.
Yes.
Now, the thing, like I said, I think Vergil is a better version of that kid. And, I don't know how Boots gets away out of that. I think he's more compact. I think he has a better punch selection as well than Xander. And the way he got hurt in that third and fourth round, that caused room to see that that's going to be a hell of a fight. That's going to be a hell of a fight, but I think that helped Boots too, though. I think that helped him learn.
With both fighters undefeated and firmly established among the biggest names at 154 pounds, excitement surrounding a potential Boots Ennis versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. showdown continues to build. The experts may disagree about who deserves the advantage, but one thing is undeniable. This matchup has all the ingredients of a blockbuster. Would Boots' speed and versatility be enough to neutralize Ortiz's pressure and power, or could Ortiz's compact combinations and relentless aggression finally expose Ennis? If these two undefeated stars eventually meet, there may be no room for mistakes.